Hello, pageant fans. This is Ayce with Contessera Pageantry. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a very special guest with us. But before we begin, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so that we can continue to bring content like this to pageant lovers across the world. So without further ado, I have a very special guest with us. So I'd love to introduce our reigning Miss Westlake Village, USA, Ashleigh Medford. Ashleigh, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here and to share my journey with everyone. And I'm so excited to finally meet you.
Thank you. We are so excited to meet you. We're so excited to get to know you better. So let's do that. So tell us about yourself and your pageant journey.
Yeah, so I actually grew up in Tennessee, and that's when I started pageants. So I kind of been doing pageants for a while, and then I moved to California to pursue my acting career and anything in entertainment, basically. And I did one pageant, I placed in that, and I did pretty well. And then after that, I kind of just stopped doing pageants, and now here I am doing pageants again. Yeah.
So this move from Tennessee to California, what was that like? Because I'm sure they're worlds apart for you.
Oh, yeah,
so what's that been
sure.
like for you?
So yeah, Tennessee is definitely different. It's a different vibe, a different atmosphere. I originally grew up in Florida, and when I was in 5th grade, I moved to Tennessee. So when I moved to Tennessee, that was a complete culture shock. Florida is kind of more similar to California in different ways. So when I moved to Tennessee, it was totally different than what I was used to, and I was a little kid. So yeah, things were definitely different there, but I did kind of find my way. I entered my first pageant. I got started with that, and then I moved over here, and it kind of brought me back home. Yeah.
That's good to know. I always think, they're two opposite ends of the U.S.,
Yeah.
literally. But, we're both coastal states. We're both kind of, this rich culture built around.
Basically, I just need to be around the beach.
Yeah.
That's it. Period.
That's good to hear. I don't think I could leave California because,
Yeah.
we have the mountains, the beaches, anything you could want. So that's very cool.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Tennessee's nice. I love Dollywood, and it's beautiful over there, and the people are great, but California is where it's at.
yeah.
She's that girl.
I like to hear that.
Yeah.
I've been in California pretty much my entire life. And so
Oh, wow.
it's great to kind of hear that, you've kind of lived almost 3 different lives in Florida, Tennessee, and now California. What has been, going through this journey, what has been kind of the differences in the pageant world? Have you seen differences there in the different states?
Yeah, you know what? I always say, or what I've been realizing is Tennessee might be the bigger pageant, like you start them earlier, and I feel like there's more girls that are doing them over there. It's kind of like a lifestyle thing. And then over here, everyone's kind of scattered, but they do things way bigger here.
Oh.
Like, it's way bigger and definitely more expensive here. I'm like, whoo, this is a lot, but it's okay because I'm having a lot of fun. And if I were going to compete anywhere else or anywhere, it'd be California. I've felt very comfortable competing here. Even when I moved here and I did my first pageant here, I was able to place, and it just kind of confirmed that this was the place that, I wanted to be. And I did place in Tennessee, but it was more of like trying to fit the mold. And I feel like out here you can kind of maneuver that a little bit more. You can, it's a little bit more flexible on who you can be in the pageant world.
Yeah, no, that's really, we're currently in Southern California. It's kind of the nexus of so many different cultures and so many different people.
Right.
And so it's really cool to hear that you've seen that difference and that you've kind of allowed yourself to kind of spread your wings a little bit more in California.
Yeah, I definitely have spread my wings a little bit more here. It's the Golden State,
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be here.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So you're currently the reigning Miss Westlake Village. What was that experience like for you?
You know what? It was a journey getting this title. I love Westlake Village. I think it's such a hidden gem. And I had my own, little experiences that, brought me here. I love the scenery in Westlake Village. It's beautiful. There's flowers everywhere. My favorite thing about it is that people like to place gnomes in the little pathways.
Those little guys?
Yeah,
Those
the little gnomes. So every now and then you'll be walking down a pathway and you'll see a gnome, and it just kind of puts a smile on your face. So that always made me happy. It was like, it's the little things that really make a difference. And then I have my job over there, Salon Republic. I'm a social media manager, and, it's a great job. And then I have my cheerleading team there as well. So it's a very sentimental title for me because it's kind of where I completely found myself.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you're a social media manager. You also part of a cheerleading team, or do you coach the
I'm
team?
actually the coach.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Can't cheer anymore, but I'm a coach, and that's been great because these girls are, young, and I see a lot of myself in them, and it's just been so precious to see, them doing what I used to do.
Yeah. No, I know. What is it? The cheerleading world is a very competitive, very physically demanding world. So has that kind of has that bled into your pageantry experience as well? What has that been like for you?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about this the other day because occasionally I still listen to cheerleading music to get my spirits up because it's very fast and motivating. So I definitely do listen to cheerleading music. That's a little secret fact about me. Cheerleading has definitely prepared me in the pageant world. You're on a stage and, you have to make all these faces and be completely yourself and just have fun with it. And an interesting thing about competitive cheerleading was when I was in Florida, that's where I started doing competitive cheerleading, and I loved it. And then I heard we had to move to Tennessee, and I was devastated because I loved the cheerleading team that I was on. So we packed up, moved to Tennessee, and there was no competitive cheerleading team in sight. No. So my mom had to create a team, and so thankfully I have a great mom, and she was able to, create a competitive team for me to do. That's the love of a mother, and I got to do that, and then here I am being a cheerleading coach too. It's funny how that works.
It is funny how those things work. Talked about the love and support of your mother as well, and how she, created this team for you. How has that kind of impacted your experience in pageantry? Has she been supportive of the pageant world, and what's that been like for her as a mother kind of supporting you?
Yeah, she's definitely been super supportive. I mean, I was actually scared to tell her that I wanted to do a pageant again because, it's so, I haven't done one in a few years. So when I wanted to tell her, I was like, oh my God, she's going to think I'm weird that I'm doing a pageant at my age. And so I was scared to tell her. But when I told her, she was like, I'm so excited for you. This is like a full circle moment for you. This is, who you kind of are and what you've been doing, and it's really good to see that you're coming back to yourself. Of the queens that we've spoken to, a lot of them that kind of go through this journey, it's a return to self almost, right? And the idea that we all have pieces of ourselves that we want to share with the world, and pageants is just one way to express it. And so I want to talk about that more as well, this idea that you're expressing yourself, through this pageant journey. A lot of the girls have advocacies that reflect who they are. So can you tell us about your advocacy and what it means to you? Yeah, so I actually started Crown State, and it's very near and dear to my heart. I started this because my journey in California has been nothing short of amazing, but also difficult when you move here from, let's say, a small city from Tennessee, and you come out here with these big dreams. It's hard to, accomplish those, and you get told no a lot, and you get rejected, and you meet people, that are good for you. You meet people that aren't so good for you, and you go through things, and you have experiences that build you up and give you lessons, and I feel like that's what California did for me, and I've learned some of my biggest lessons here, and that's how Crown State got started, through my journey, through my hard lessons that I had to, really learn from, and that's why I'm here today. I really want to, promote remembering who you are and coming back to yourself and doing all the things that you used to do before the world told you otherwise, or you had those voices in your head, or you were told that you weren't good enough or anything like that. So that's basically my journey back to, doing pageantry and what my whole advocacy is, all about. It's remembering who you are and coming back to yourself.
And that's always so important, right?
Yeah.
You've been through kind of 3 monumental life changes, especially moving is difficult.
Yeah.
Right? And then deciding to move states and deciding to move to, you're essentially moving from one coast to another to, to Tennessee, to California, and all of these changes. And I know it's hard to kind of, I guess, stay intact.
Yeah.
Right? To stay who you are. And so through this advocacy, it seems like you've done it. So tell us a little bit more about what that journey was like to kind of return to form, to return to self, to return to pageantry.
Yeah, so I had, one of the biggest traumatic experiences happen to me, and, I had to learn from that, and, it's hard to pick yourself back up from that, and I see people around me, that kind of go through the same thing, and they're not able to pick themselves up, and I want to be, a role model for them and say, hey, you can pick yourself up, and you can do this, and that's why I got really involved with neuroscience, and I'm actually training to be a neuroscience coach now.
Wow,
yeah.
Neuroscience, okay.
Yeah, I really believe in the power of the mind and the power of your thoughts and, creating your own little reality.
So neuroscience, very interesting. So this idea of the returning to form, returning to self, and this kind of reflected in your current, neuroscience field.
Yeah.
Right? Can you tell us more about that? Because I think for a lot of us, neuroscience is very, hard sciences, but how does it kind of reflect in, how can we use it in everyday life to make ourselves better?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I kind of fell into neuroscience, and I think it's just something that I was always meant to do. I was always just naturally really good at science. I had no idea why, because I thought it was very boring, to be honest. I just didn't know why I was, naturally good at it. And I just kind of had that in the back of my head. Okay, I'm good at science. I like a few things about science. But then, learning through experiences of my own, I was able to really see the patterns and recognize certain things, and that's kind of how I fell into neuroscience. And so I kind of use that as my own little crutch. Not only do I want to teach neuroscience, but it's also a great way to unite everyone, because I think at the basis of neuroscience is all the, religions that are out there. They really, bring everything together. So it doesn't really matter what you believe in. You could still believe in neuroscience and connect it somewhere. Yeah.
I mean, we all have minds, right? We can all think.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes it's our own worst enemy, but the way you're, now we make it our friend.
Yeah.
Because it's who we are.
You have to be your best friend.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for sharing with us kind of your journey, your many moves, right?
I know. I feel like I am a very multifaceted person, and it's because of, all the places that I lived. I'm not afraid to be a country girl. I'm not afraid to be a Spanish girl. I'm not afraid to be, the artist living in California. So
yeah.
A lot of different things going on.
Lots of things. So that's so great to hear. So we'll move on to our next section, and we call this our yes, no, maybe section, right? We'll ask you a series of questions, and you can only answer yes, no, and maybe. And then at the end, we'll select some questions where we want to hear some extra context from you. So if there are any questions that you find interesting that you want to kind of dissect further, more than willing to talk about it.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
So you ready to begin?
Yeah, let's get started.
And to our Contessera pageant viewers, here is some beautiful branding today. All right, so let's begin. All right, so is kindness more powerful than confidence?
No.
Do you believe pageants are evolving for the better?
Yes.
Do you wear your heart on your sleeves?
No.
Is being outspoken part of being a beauty pageant queen?
Maybe.
Would you ever go to space if given the opportunity?
No.
Would you ever mentor your pageant rival?
Yes.
Would you still be proud of your journey even without a title?
Yes.
Would you ever create your own beauty pageant one day?
Yes.
Do you believe some advocacies are just for show?
Maybe.
Would you ever participate in a pageant that doesn't require any makeup?
Yes.
Would you compete in another system if you were to win your original system?
No.
Is authenticity your ultimate pageant strategy?
Yes.
Would you ever challenge a judge's score? Nicely.
No.
Would you ever join a reality TV show?
Maybe.
I'm getting a little spooky. So, do you think ghosts exist?
No.
Do you consider yourself a pragmatic person?
Maybe.
Is being too prepared a real thing in pageantry?
No.
Can a queen be controversial and inspirational at the same time?
Yes.
Do you believe social media followers should count in the judging process?
No.
Have you ever had a wardrobe malfunction on stage?
No.
So some fun questions, some serious questions, but I'd love to kind of delve a little deeper.
Yeah.
So I think you said, I want to say this was a maybe. So you said, I asked, can a queen be controversial and inspirational at the same time? And I think you said maybe here?
Yeah.
So can you explain that answer?
Yeah. I mean, I think controversy is subjective, but personally, I do always try to be careful, but also be my authentic self. So I think, we should really take into account, how authentic that person is and, respect it. We all should listen to each other, no matter what someone's opinion is,
And there's a fine line.
Yeah, there's a fine line for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, I'm not going to, have an interview and be like, this is this way,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of, you're right.
Yeah.
Right? There's one thing controversial in one space is not controversial in another space.
I think if you're willing to listen, if you're that controversial person, if you're just willing to listen to a different opinion, I think it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree with you, right? Being controversial to one person and then that being inspirational to another person.
Yeah.
It can be difficult to read sometimes. Right. Okay. So I love this question. So you said yes here. So would you create your own beauty pageant one day? So I want to know, how would you plan it? Like, what would kind of be the core messaging for you there?
Yeah, this is going to be a little different and a little spooky.
Okay.
So I have an interesting story. So my middle name is Sasheen, and my alter ego on stage has always been Queen Sasheen. So it's kind of like Sasha Fierce, Beyonce.
Of course.
That's her alter ego. So I made my own, a long time ago, Queen Sasheen. That's who I am on stage. And so I was given that name. It was passed down from my mom. My mom got that name because my grandpa, who is, obviously her father, saw this woman on TV. He thought she was so beautiful. And she was actually an actress in Marlon Brando film, The Godfather. And she was, and actually she was controversial at the time, but she's a hero. I'm not saying that I am. But she was controversial at the time because she went to not accept the award. And it was like a big deal at the time. You might have seen it.
Was that the Oscars?
Yeah, it was the Oscars.
Yes, the
That was
Oscars.
Sasheen.
Yes. Oh,
Her
wow.
name was Sasheen,
Okay.
Little Feather. I wanted to say Littlefinger, like about Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But it was Little Feather.
Yeah.
And so my grandfather gave that name to my mom, and then my mom gave that name to me. And so that's how I got the name Sasheen, and for the pageant, she was actually, the pageant that I would have I would bring back the Miss Vampire, American Vampire pageant, because she was actually the first winner of that pageant. So that is something I would bring back, because there's not really a spooky pageant, and I have that spooky side, and that's why I love California, because we can be a little bit more different out here. And I like to say that my aesthetic is elegant, but with a little bit of edge, and you can kind of tell with my red hair, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I like to be elegant, but vampy. Keep you on your the edge of your seat. So yeah, I would start the Miss American Vampire pageant. I'd bring that back.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
We're open. If any sponsors want to, we're open.
Yeah, I would love to. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Okay. And then, here it is. Oh, I love this question. So,
oh no.
This question is, I think you said maybe here as well. I love the gray area, the kind of straddling between controversial and inspirational, but I think you said maybe here, or maybe it was a yes, but do you believe pageants are evolving for the better?
Oh yeah, I do actually. I'm glad you asked me that question, because, doing pageants when I was younger in Tennessee, I kind of did start off looking at them very, surface level. And so I started off doing the small, tiny, like little festival pageants, and they were always like, prettiest eyes, prettiest blah, blah, blah. And they didn't really go deep into, the interview portion. But as I, started evolving and doing more and more pageants, I started realizing, whoa, this is like, this is more than just surface level. And bringing it back to doing my first pageant, I didn't do it because I thought I was pretty and wanted to, be the prettiest person. I actually did it because I saw how confident the girls were, and I was like, I wanted to be that way. I was very introverted growing up, so when I saw these girls just own that stage and wear pretty dresses, I wanted to do that. Yeah. So pretty dresses were a factor in that. But yeah, I started doing pageants because of that reason, and then I kind of just evolved into, answering questions better, getting deeper with them, and just, they teach you a lot about yourself, and I think they're definitely evolving for the better. You see different heights, you see different women. We have the Miss USA system that, is letting mothers into the system, and, older women as well. So I think they are, evolving for sure, for the better.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, I completely agree. The kind of expansiveness, the types of pageants, it's, you're having so much more types of people being involved. But we do need to bring the vampire one back.
Yes.
Right?
We need vampires.
I'm still stuck on that, the vampire pageant. I love that.
Thank you. I'm glad you like that.
All right. And this last question. So I think you said maybe here as well.
Okay.
Would you ever join a reality TV show? So I want to know why maybe, and then, if you were to decide to join a reality TV show, which one are you interested in?
I'm just, as a neuroscientist, I am not big on watching reality TV because I don't like how some of them are presented, but I know there are some good reality shows. But honestly, I am kind of private. I will be, my authentic self and, give you the truth. But I do like to withdraw. So being, on TV and there's, all these cameras around you 24/7, I don't know if I would like that. My mom has tried to get me to do The Bachelor so many times. And I'm like, Mom, that is not a dating show. No, I would never do that. Sorry. I think, they're great to watch. I can't do a dating show. I do not want anyone watching me date. It's so bad.
I would be such a fool on camera.
Exactly.
I would be such a fool.
So yeah, no.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Okay, all right. Okay, so that those are our questions. So I hope you enjoy them. They were like an eclectic mix.
Yeah, they were really fun.
So we'll move on to our next portion, which is our actual Q&A portion. But before we begin, every queen prepares in different ways. So how do you prepare for the Q&A portion of a pageant?
Yeah, you know what? I've actually decided to do that a little differently this year. I am working with a pageant coach. Shout out to Nikita. I think she's great. She works with the energetics of pageantry, and that's something that I'm really good at, is reading energy. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm really good at reading people, and so I just thought she was the perfect fit for me. And this year I really wanted to just be completely myself. Like I said, I've done pageants before, and in the past I kind of listened to other people, you know, wear a blue dress when I would never really wear a blue dress. It's just the little details like that. So for this pageant, I really wanted to show who I am as a person. So even my questions are going to be completely from my soul. I don't really want to rehearse them too much. I just want them to come out of me.
Oh,
that makes sense.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I've the whole kind of and then the energetics part I've never heard of, and so what is energetics like in the pageant world? What does that mean?
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to explain too, because I'm kind of just jumping into this realm of energetics. I didn't realize, you know, there are people in the pageant industry that you can see those energetics, and it's been really difficult for me to, you know, kind of find my tribe out here. And doing this pageant, like I said, has kind of brought me back to myself, and has been very healing in many ways. So I found this girl online. She's actually a really good coach. She has quite a few followers. And I just fell in love with the way she teaches and the energetics of it all. And it's basically, you know, making sure that you're fully present in your body and you're authentic, because people can feel that, you know. You don't realize that. Like, you know, I could feel a little bit of your energy, you know. So
I hope it's good
not
energy.
a bad thing at all, but you know, people can really feel when you're being authentic, and that's why I wanted to work with her. I truly do want to be as authentic as I can in this pageant.
Very cool. Okay. All right. Okay. So we do have some questions here. So this was from the 2021 Miss Universe pageant, and these were questions asked of the top 5. And so we'll let you pick the questions, but I'll read them off. And then we do have our producer with a timer on. Okay. So no pressure, but
no pressure.
He will get on us if we go over. No, he won't.
Okay.
It'll be good.
This is good practice.
Okay. Yes. All right. Okay. So you can pick your question.
I'm scared. Wait.
There we go.
I gotta mix these up a little bit.
Yeah, they're a little long questions there.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Oh, you read it.
I'll read them to you. Yeah, no, of course. Okay. So this was asked of Miss India, the winner.
I knew I was going to get that.
So many people think climate change is a hoax. What would you do to convince them otherwise?
No, I would tell people to look around. You can find you in everything. You can find God in everything. If you believe in that, you can find the universe in everything. And so I would say to treat everything, no matter what it is, how you would want to be treated. And that's how I would, you know, bring all that together. And
having this sort of empathy, right, for the world, for ourselves, right? I think that's a lot.
I had her answer in my mind too, so I was like, what did she say again? Because her answer was so good, and I couldn't remember, so it kind of tripped me up a little bit, but that's okay. I think you got the basis of what I was saying.
This empathy for, you know, for all living things, for our planet.
So it's just to have empathy and take care of the planet, take care of yourself, because you can see you in everything. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. All right. So next question.
I get to redeem myself.
All right. So this was asked of Miss Paraguay. How can women best handle body shaming?
I would say to just know who you are and be yourself. And, you know, we all have those gray seasons where we don't feel our best, and we have people that are constantly telling us, you know, what looks good and what doesn't look good, and we have people in our ear. But I would say to just center yourself, know who you are, and know that you could get past it, because you're beautiful in your own way, and those outside opinions don't matter. The only ones that matter are the ones that are inside of you and what you think.
Amazing.
Thanks.
Right on time. Yeah, this idea that we're oftentimes our worst critics, right? And so we have to be the ones that love ourselves the most oftentimes. So,
agreed. You have to be sturdy and strong.
yeah. Okay. All right. So I think there's some more questions. Okay. All right. So this will be our last question for you. I hope it's a good one. Some of these get really serious sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
And I was just like, the breadth of knowledge that it takes to know climate change and know politics.
Yeah.
All right. So this was asked of Miss South Africa. Should tweets and social media comments from a person in their teenage years be held against them years later?
I don't believe that they should be held against them. I think we need to leave room for people to evolve, because that's what life is about. It's about learning lessons and going on that journey and knowing who you are and knowing what you like and learning from those things. And I think, as a neuroscientist, you're taught that your brain isn't fully developed until you're like 25 or up. So it's really hard to determine that,
Yeah. No, this idea of social media, and kids are getting into it younger and younger and younger online, and I think all teenagers say stupid things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right?
You can't really hold that against them. Maybe in the moment you can, but I think years down the road they kind of get a pass, because
there's still so much time to grow.
Yeah, that's what being human is all about. It's evolving and growing and becoming a better person, hopefully.
Hopefully, fingers crossed,
hopefully,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So thank you so much, Ashleigh, for those questions. I hope you had some fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Some real-time practice for you. So we'll move on to our last section. And so this will kind of be your chance to speak to our audience. But I do, we always love asking this question. So what kind of advice do you have for people that want to join pageants? Because I know your journey has been a very inward journey, as much as outward, right? You've moved to 3 different states, and so what advice would you give to girls or anyone wanting to kind of join the pageant world?
Yeah, I would say, and I know a lot of people say this, but it's really true, and this is the energetics of it, is be yourself. Go into the pageant, just be completely yourself, be authentic, because people can feel, like I said, when you're not authentic. And also, don't worry about the competition. Keep your eyes closed on that and your eyes open on who you are, and only focus on that.
Yeah, no, very cool. The idea of being yourself is often, I think it's very, interpreted as kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day.
But it's so true.
Right?
It's one of the most powerful things. There's only one of you, so why would you be anyone different, you know?
Yeah. Okay, very cool. And then let's say, so you're on the Miss Universe track, right? So from here, you'll be going to Miss California, then hopefully to Miss USA, and then hopefully to, the crown for Miss Universe. If you were to win, Miss Universe today, right now, what would be the first thing you would do?
The first thing I would do, well, it's been a long journey, and honestly, I would eat something really, really good, like boneless wings. I know that's a silly answer, but that's what I would do. I'm craving wings so bad, and I swear, if I have one right now, I'll keep having them. Yeah. So it's just like I need to be focused on that. But other than that, I would, lead from my heart. I think we need more people leading from their hearts and, being present and open to people.
Yeah. And in your heart is a boneless wing.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Ashleigh. We've gotten to know you so much better, your pageant journey. Before we close out, is there anything you would like to say to our audience? This is where you can plug yourself, any events, shout out to your loved ones, anything to kind of show who you are to the world.
Well, I want to say thank you to you all for having me here. And also, for those listening, remember who you are. My dad used to tell me that every time he would drop me, my sister, and my brother off at school. And I used to be so embarrassed about that, because he would literally scream it out loud as we were walking out. And I thought it was so silly at the time. And I, was shamefully embarrassed. But now I'm just like, wow, like, that's been a theme for me. Remember who you are and be yourself and don't listen to other people and be sturdy in that.
Thank you, Ashleigh. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Contest Sarah pageant viewers, for joining us. We live for this, right? This is something that we love doing. We love interviewing these contestants, and we love kind of seeing their journey. And so we hope to see you again. Please like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so that we can continue to bring content like this to pageant lovers across the world. This has been Ayce. With all my love, we hope to see you again. Thank you.